words, befuddled. I'm really befuddled right now. And I heard from Professor Findley that the committee received assurances that the police department was willing to work with them and was behind this effort. And I heard that same thing from the committee co-chairs and other committee members. And then, Chief, I just heard you say that you felt in this process that collaboration has failed. And I mean, I guess the question in my mind is when did you decide that, and why didn't you communicate that to your staff person who was at the meetings these past 7 months?
Oh, that's a question of Chief Koval.
That's a Chief Koval. I'm really, really curious about that.
Yes, Captain Mary Schaaf was assigned to help with whatever data issues or grasping of trending best practices, whatever their needs were. But there was the thought communicated to me from Captain Schaaf that at some point or another that there would be an opportunity for us to add some substance to those questions or a response to those people who would come and provide testimony to the committee. And that really didn't happen.
So so do you think there's like a communication problem between you and the committee? And
no,
why did you wait until Sunday afternoon to let the whole world know and not talk to the committee about it?
I think mostly because of the fact that we were told that we should sit on the sidelines, as it was supposed to be highly autonomous and independent, and that by having those ongoing discussions, it would look as if we were being manipulative or dictating the tenor and the tone and what kinds of things would be looked at. And so that's why we didn't take an active role.
So then on Sunday afternoon, I was at a meeting of the Mutual Aid Network. It's this global group of people who, anyway, we were together at a meeting at which Stephanie Rhetoric was there, and she was telling me about how the Time Bank had just given you an award. And
the department,
right. And I mean, I know I was president of the Time Bank for a couple of years when Youth Court was going, and Officer Rossetti had just done amazing work around diversion and Youth Court and reducing racial disparities. And so Sunday afternoon we were talking about that and all of that and how what's going on in Madison is a national model. And then I got home and I read your blog and I thought, you're not making an enemy out of me, but you're making it really hard for your friends to support the great work that's going on with the kind of rhetoric you use. And I wonder, you are in command of the legitimate use of violence in this committee.
Of this committee,
of the community.
Yes.
That's
the statutory use.
Right, of violence. Do you have any idea, what you in that position, when you tell an elected body that you are doing a preemptive first strike against us, I'm just asking you to really think about how that felt to us when some of us are out there promoting and supporting the work of your department.
I appreciate that.
Using these military language as if we're your enemies.
Well, I didn't mean to suggest that you're my enemies, but I am saying that I've been at the tail end of a lot of these council meetings where the speakers are allowed unmitigated to take their cut-and-run comments, and then I don't have a chance to offer a timely rebuttal, nor do you provide a question to me to be able to do that. So I think what I'm trying to say is that if we're going to go through this debate again, I'm telling you in advance my expectations are decorum has to be different, because I'm tired of always being on the recipient end without any sense of cover or timely rebuttal. That's what that was intended.
I can hear that.
Okay.
But when you use the word preemptive first strike and that you're watching, that we are watching you, you are the guys with guns, and that's it's left up to us to interpret that, and it's quite frankly in this era of Trump that's chilling. That's really chilling.
And
I heard what you said right there about debate
okay.
in a good way, and I understand it.
Okay.
But people talking a little bit overlong when when what they're talking about is their fear for their lives, I think it's of a different magnitude. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I really wish that it seemed like the committee was going great. It really did, and we had no one, the least of all committee chairs or members, had any idea that the collaboration had failed until right this moment. So I guess that communication, that the explosiveness of this meeting and of comments we've been hearing in the last couple days is just really, I don't know, unfortunate, painful for everyone. And I hope that when we do pass this, because it looks like there's maybe only one person who's going to vote against it, that we can think about our words, all of us, before we say them or write them in a blog. I mean, you have Joel Despain on your staff. He's amazing. He's amazing.
Probably should use him more.
Use him, yeah. So, anyway,
there is this thing called a metaphor when you say you're watching. Could that possibly be that we don't have drones and we don't have surveillance and I don't have an affinity squad?
You do have surveillance, though. You do have.
Yes, well, this is not Madison and Wisconsin in 2016.
I know.
So.
But see, we need to have these discussions and really build that trust, and that's what those people, anyway, those pups who are here today, the kids. Were you here when they did their thing? So I organized that group with a teacher last year. After last spring, she invited me in her class to talk about local government. And so this fall, they had 3 major topics they wanted to address, and then we said, no, you can only study one. And those 3 things were the homelessness, protecting the environment, and public safety / police accountability. Because to those kids who live at Vera Court, that's public, to them, that's public safety. And those kids who are just out of curiosity and no ulterior motive, and no one's community organizing them to do anything. That's really what they feel. And that's what this study, hopefully, will help us see where those perceptions are not backed up in reality, where those are just wrong ideas about what's happening. And I really hope that you lead your department in a way that will be cooperative with this. And I hope that the committee and we do a better job of listening to you when you talk to us in words that are not so challenging to listen to.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Alderperson